Here's a interesting firewood fact as I'm taking in the last load for today, but not the last load for the season. We've been working off this pile this year since, as most of you who watch the farm report know, we still don't have a watertight area. Well, mostly watertight, but at this point in the year we'll just stick with the tarps here and burn the rest of what we got from under here rather than having to move it twice. So anyway, this pile, let me back up a bit here. This pile had extended down to about, well, right about the edge of the picture here. So I would say we've maybe burned a third of it, maybe half. From, we started burning in October, and we burn pretty regular. So anyway, Terry cleaned out the fireplace for the first time today, and I go out and dump it on the garden. That's that gray tint you can see on the vegetable garden over there. A bag and a half, a grocery bag and a half, regular paper grocery bag. So all of that in this empty spot here, kind of between that 4x4 mesh cattle panel on up to where you can see the tarp dropping off there. All of that burned down to about a bag and a half of ash. Amazing. Well, it appears to me that somebody has reached through the fence and somebody that's nudging me from the back. Somebody has reached through the fence and tried to eat the silk flowers at Dad's memorial. Now, who would that be? Who? I say, who? Ha ha ha. Who would that be? Apparently they weren't any good. Well, today we're in the barn for some deep lessons for you young whippersnappers on how to make a long-lasting marriage. And I have to say, it's not about roses on Valentine's Day. It's about spending a little time together in the stall of the barn, shoveling out this. That's what true love is. You got to do a little of that together. And I got my wheels over here, and I'm the shovel man. And it works out good. Here comes Wheels. So, what's the secret of a long-lasting marriage?
Shoveling shit.
Whoops! Bleep on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's the farm report for today. So, when we get done in the stall, we'll put down some nice fresh bedding. And then, the very first thing they'll do when they come in there is take that very nice fresh bedding and christen it, won't you? Because you are the original inventors of Bed Bath & Beyond, and that stall is all of those things with lots of beyond. All right, boys, all done. There's the bed, there's the bath, there's the beyond. Try to keep it all straight. Okay, bed, bath, yes, kitchen, over here, kitchen. And don't get them mixed up. Got that? Move. Oh, his is always better, isn't it? What is it with you, Pat? You always get the better box of feed, don't you? Come on, get out of his food. Don't be a bully. You're a buddy, not a bully. He says, right-o. You tell him, farmer. Nope, you're going to eat his. That's good. Turnabout's fair play, isn't it, Patch? Yeah, his is better than yours. You get the same amount, you dopes. Now you're going to make him go around. Then there's other stuff we do together. Pruning, that's a big deal. By the way, update on the tool. I now have this tree pruned and this tree pruned. And the lower part of the next little plum tree there pruned. And I still have, guess what, 68% left on the one battery. I haven't changed it yet, so
All right.
who knows? We may get almost all the way done with the one battery. Well, it's the 29th of January, and I'm out taking a nice walk in the forest out alongside Gray Creek up above the farm, off on a logging road. And it looks like we had a big wind a few weeks ago, maybe about 6 weeks ago. It was a few weeks before Christmas, actually. So, and both directions we take a walk had some major blowdowns. Looks like we've had a few up the hill there too. This is not snow, it's actually frost. It's been dry for a few weeks. I think ever since our last roofing attempt, basically. They saw the weather systems saw the roofers go away and said, okay, we can dry up now. And so this is just a spot where it's always in the shade during the day. It's about 3 in the afternoon. And it's been running into the high 20s at night. Without rain, it clears up and it gets chilly at night. Kenny gave me a new game cam that I've been trying out. And somebody else has been trying it out too. He always seems to want to readjust my camera angles and put a filter on it. Well, welcome to a beautiful day in the neighborhood in early February. Nice and warm, and I stopped by the local nursery yesterday and picked up some raspberries to replace the ones that petered out last year. We got off to a good start last year, but then came the 113 degree heat wave. The other thing I'm going to do different this year, this is kind of goo down below the top couple of inches. Real clay, mucky muck. And I remember last year trying to put that back in and plant that around the roots of the raspberries. I'm just going to cut our losses and put some outdoor potting mix down there instead. Hopefully things will take off a little more this year. I think of the 10 we had last year, only 3 survived, so. Okay, we have some big news going on here at the farm, and that is that this space here in the garage is empty, because you know what we're doing? We are cleaning up. Unfortunately, it's moved over to this space in the garage, but this space over here all has places it's going elsewhere soon, very soon. But this space all in here, all over, was full of stuff from our move when we sold the house at Villa over 2 years, 2.5 years ago. Stuff from Dad's gardening shed and Dad's stuff that Donna got rid of years ago, a couple of years anyway. And so I am finally sorting through. And now next on the list, is the workbench. So that's going to get clear. But we had a momentous occasion today when I took my old 40-year-old plumbing box, Now, you DIY people, you will relate to me on this. I just know. And we took out, I took out stuff that every time I go in here for useful things, things that I actually need, things like, oh, if I got a project, Teflon tape or plumber's putty, which I've learned now to put into a plastic bag, by the way. Try to keep that airtight. A few of the other things that are in here, I would have to dig through another mountain of old garbage stuff from old projects, collections. Guess what? Habitat for Humanity, I think you're going to be gifted. And if you don't want it, I don't know, Goodwill or the dump or whatever. But it all fit in this gross little box. Well, it didn't used to be gross, but I think oil or something spilled in there a while ago. And the bottom's falling out, it's like, but yep, my 40-year-old plumbing box. And some of it is going this way too. Stuff that I couldn't imagine even Goodwill wanting. Some old crap in here. This one's a fun one. You know what this is? This hooks up a portable dishwasher to the sink. This thing used to fit onto the kitchen sink this way. Now, I don't know why we took that off or if that was busted when we were done. For some reason, I had a spare for that. Now, that dates back literally 40 years to the early 80s. When I was in a mobile home, I had a portable dishwasher. Actually, I think we kept that and moved it over when we moved into the house, stick-built house on Hazel. Anyway, it's a true archaeological dig going through a DIY guy's plumbing box. So we did it, and we downsized. Now I got this little bitty box, and I can actually see everything in there without throwing it all out on the floor. It is the day after Valentine's Day here on the farm, and you might be able to tell love is still in the air. And we have something very romantic planned today for the day after Valentine's Day. Terry and I are going to go on, drum roll, a dump date. And we'll take you along for every romantic event in our dump date. Oh, it's going to get hot. Better hide the kids. Here we go. Okay. This part's kind of like foreplay, I think. It starts off with a lot of times a little less climatic stuff, but here's where we start. Well, I had to make a trip to the house because I made a fatal error on our dump date. Is I brought the keys to the wrong vehicle up here. So, and we all know how women love a pickup guy, so we got to take the truck on the dump date so she can ride in the pickup. Now here's a little pro tip for you younger guys. Women just love it if you load the truck while they're still getting ready in the house. So it's one of those romantic things. Makes them anxious to get in the truck with you. Part of the reason I wanted to do a dump trip now is that we do it before we complete this trench across the barn driveway. But that's enough gutter talk for during our dump date. Okay, so we're all loaded up. Foreplay is over. And are you ready for romance?
Oh yeah, hot date.
Ooh boy.
Always
Okay, here we go.
It's a great turn on.
Yep. Woohoo! Dump date. But
Right, boys?
cover your eyes, boys. No, don't look. Go away. Here's a quarter. Go to the movies.
The
Okay.
beginning of our date.
Our dump date. Yeah, it really starts here. Well, there was the foreplay part that you,
Oh, that's right, you
or the
said that.
preparation part that I sort of did. That's
You did say that.
it leads to the anticipation. But here we are at the Peacock. This is an essential part of the farm, by the way. The Peacock, right?
Oh, yeah.
come have breakfast here every once in a while.
Once a week at least.
Once a week, yep. So, the good economy breakfast, farm breakfast. Okay, here we are at the, we're ready to have the climax of the romantic
right.
dump date here. So, here we go. Okay.
It was so good.
Oh, was it good for you? Yep. And away it goes. Well, I'm getting a little bit of the last of the trench dug out here, where the drain pipe's going to go across the drive up to the barn. And what we have here is our typical road crew, where we got one guy with a shovel, and we have the rest of the crew is supervising, I guess, chewing their cud over here, making sure that I getting my work done and not getting out of line. This is going to end up about 40 feet or so long, coming across here, and I got just about 6 feet left to dig. You might have noticed there, by the way, that pipe's coming out. That was Dad's, I think, first attempt at kind of doing this idea. And it looks like about 1.5 inches ABS pipe that was buried, maybe 3 or 4 inches is all. And so that's coming out. And that was prone to doing this, I think. And I actually tried that for a year or two and ran a snake down there, cleared it out, but it was, it just needs a proper catch basin to enter, and we're gonna try upgrading a little bit with catch basins, and we're gonna go to 3-inch pipe. Sometimes I feel like the Pied Piper on a lawn tractor. It's a bumpy old pasture. Man, the boys are enjoying the sun today. Feeling like a pair of thoroughbreds, I guess. I don't know. For a minute there, I thought Patch was going to jump the fence. He went straight up to the fence like he was a jumping horse or something. And he stopped, but he thought about it for a minute. You guys done with your run? You're puffing. You sure you don't want to go again? The tractor seems to inspire him. Let's see if we can get him to go again. Let's go. All you gotta do is take a little drive toward him. Here we go. Whoa! Running. Here they go. At some point in time, Dad planted these little tiny junipers as cute little accent plants all around the border of our yard. And this one here, if I could stand in the middle, it's probably about as tall as me. It's 5 or 6 feet at least. So these tiny little junipers kind of took over the world. Before that, Dad had climbing roses on this fence line for the yard, and all sorts of pretty flowers around, and over time, and once upon a time the climbing roses dominated the fence, almost as big as this, and when they were in bloom, man, it was a sight to see. Some of them there's still remnants buried in there, but slowly we've been starting to cut back at that, and we started a couple years ago with this little group here, and we really liked how that turned out. Of course, I got a few blackberries in there that have come up, and I have to get out, and always got to stay ahead of the blackberries. But we whacked these back severely, and you can see from the top there's still some of the branches showing, but over from where we tend to view it from the house, it tends to look more like that, which we can see over it, so we really like that. Look down the valley, there is a holly growing over there, and then that's the burn pile over there that I just created in the last few days. And where did that come from, you say? Well, we decided to start into the group next to this and start battling that one too. So again, from the house view, it doesn't look too bad. It looks a little scrungy on the top, and it will for a year, but that's how this looked over here too. And you can see how well, that's filled back in on the top very nicely. Over here as well, I could probably start maybe trimming a little bit of that, thinning that on the top was my plan. So we wanted to do is leave as much greenery facing the house. This one we actually took back to the fence on the back side. This time around, and because it was growing, another 6 feet out in this direction, this time around we're going to leave it two-sided so we can see the greenery coming up the drive. So that's what it looks like from the front side. And like I say, that'll fill in a year or so, but boy, it does leave a swath of no man's land in between for a while, doesn't it? Okay, well, we have finally connected the dots on the trench, and got it running all the way through, and we are ready to start laying pipe. Probably close to 50 feet, I think. So we're going to start with this section, lay a little fabric down first, hopefully get that to kind of fit like a U in there, and go from there. All right, pipe is laid. I got 3 sections of this PVC pipe underneath where we tend to drive. Probably could have used another 3 or 4 feet here, but I think it'll be okay. Don't tend to drive over on this corner much. Another catch basin there, and then it just pretty much heads on down the hill and outlets down there. Well, now the fun starts. Filling that trench back in. Oh boy. Well, we're making some progress. Picked up my second load of rock here. I'll spread that today. It's about as far as the first one went. Probably halfway-ish. Maybe a little less. How about some help there? Well, here's the finished drain. That's the outlet, and on it goes up with my catch basins. They're sticking a little high right now. I'll come back and kind of cut those off to height later on after my driveway guy comes out. He's going to come out and kind of shear off that sharp edge going up to the barn there, level that off so there isn't quite as much of a dip there going up that direction, and scrape off some of that dirt and move it. So yeah, I give him a call next week, schedule a time, ready to go. Well, there's the Moose brothers taking their union break this morning. And they spotted me heading to the barn here, so I'll be real busted when they see me go in the front door. And it won't be more than a couple minutes before they'll be there begging. I got a start on my vineyard pruning yesterday. Got about a half row done. And here I thought I wasn't going to have any interest in using this thing for this little stuff. But guess what? It's just way too much fun. I thought, well, I'll bring it out there, and I had my regular pruners with me. I didn't touch my regular pruners. This is way too much fun to use. It is heavier than, there's a bit of weight to it, but that didn't seem to bother me. Fun. Well, we have had a big time rain overnight. And we got water, lots of water coming over the ground. I'm surprised how fast it resaturated. And let's see how this is working down on the, all pretty good up top here. But we can see what's coming out down here at the end. Nice little river of water coming out down there. So, we're doing the job so far. This will be the next drain to work on. We have kind of Lake Anderson out here on the big rains, and we do have a drain here. I just think it needs a little bit of modification so the water flows into it a little bit better. And it tends to plug up with needles from that tree. So today is the next day, and pretty much all of the surface water that was running into here yesterday is done running into here today. But if we follow this down here, we'll find that we still have quite a stream coming out of here. And that's, I think, because it's a French drain, so it's working also as a French drain.